This is an Epson HX-20 and it's got a claim to be the first laptop. It's got an LCD display here, it's got a printer, it's got a proper keyboard, and it's got a microcassette drive here. The microcassette drive takes these tapes, and I've got quite a few of these, and the tapes have always been a problem for me. I managed to buy some fake tapes at one point that didn't work, and you need to replace the belts and so on, and there's various other mechanical issues. So I decided to make a replacement for it with a Pico. This is Pico, few switches there to operate a menu, display to display the menu, and an SD card slot, which is where the files go instead of onto the tapes. So if I turn it on, we put it into basic and type new, so everything's gone in there. You can see the displays come up and there's a menu here, so if I list the files, there's just one directory there with bitstream files in it. And if we come back out, what we can do now is we can write a little program. Give it 2 lines, just line 1 and line 2, list that correctly. There it is. So if I save that as L2, you can see there's SD card activity going on there with the LED, and you can also see the file names appeared here, L2. And it's an elaborate scheme that the Epson uses. It uses blocks. There's a header block, there's an end of file block, and every block sent twice, and there's a lot of information in there other than the program, which is why it took so long. If we now have a look in the menu, you can see that as well as the bitstream file directory, there's an L2 file, which is the file we just sent. So if let's just check it's still here, it's still there, we'll get rid of it with new, it's gone. And then I will set up the file. I'll list the files, select the file. It's now L2 is the file that's going to be selected to be sent, and then exit out of that menu, and then we'll send the file once I have typed load here. So it's now searching the tape, which obviously doesn't exist, and then send that bitstream. So we're now sending that file back. So what it should do is find it. There you go, it's found L2, it's now loading it, and it's going through all the blocks and checking them and using the second block if the first one's bad. So it should be fairly reliable. There we go, prompts reappeared. And there is the program, and that has come off SD card. There's a file on SD card which is the bitstream file, which is just recording all the bits, just like a tape does. But at the same time that it saves that, it also decodes the blocks and puts a block file on the SD card, so you can see the logical structure of those bits. It wouldn't be too difficult to strip out the text version from that. That is just a slightly encoded binary version of the basic program. So let's get rid of that program. So that's gone, although it hasn't, still on the SD card. What you can also do is move down here to config, and you can select ROM. So if I do that, it now says ROM mode. So what it's doing now, instead of emulating this, it's emulating a ROM cartridge that you could plug into the same slot. You'd have to pull the microcassette out and plug a ROM cartridge in. I don't have one of those. I don't think many people do, actually. It didn't seem to be a massively popular option. Inside that cartridge is a ROM, and it's 8K-ish. No, it's not. It's bigger than that. Must be bigger, because the ROM can actually hold up to 31 files. Each one can be up to 32K. Obviously you can't have a ROM that big, so the idea was that you'd have 32 up to 31 programs of up to a total of 32k. Obviously with the Pico I can make each slot 32k and load stuff back. So this is now just emulating the ROM cartridge. So if I do files, which will list the files on pack 0, which is the ROM pack, they didn't call it cat, although they did in the circuit diagrams. It's now hunting through the ROM that this is presenting as if it was a real ROM cartridge, and I've got two programs there, test 1 and test 2, so let's load one in. I think only one of these works actually, because there's different formats you can use. Yeah, not that one, let's try test 2. There's different formats you can use, and I was experimenting with it. It might work well, didn't it? Oh, yes. Pack 0, test 1. That's the wrong format, and then you can load on pack 0, test 2. Now that one's worked, and that one is a basic program called test 2. Well, it's got one line in it that's got test 2 in it. So the two different versions there are ASCII, so you can have an ASCII text version of the basic program, which is what this is, and load that in, or you can have a binary basic program, which is similar to the format that's saved in the blocks when you save to the microcassette, where all the keywords have been replaced by their tokens. And I haven't actually had one of those working yet because I couldn't be bothered to look up the tokens, so I went with the ASCII text version of the basic program, which is what this is. So yeah, you can swap to the ROM cartridge, and I'm hoping to write some code. It shouldn't be too difficult to well, if you save a file using the microcassette, then that goes to a file on the SD card. Then you'll be able to run a little menu option to convert it into one of the slots of the ROM cartridge, so you'd be able to save it to the ROM cartridge. But I haven't done that yet. That's just a matter of doing some coding. So there we go, an SD card replacement for the microcassette drive for the Epson HX-20.